So just a little word of warning, I suppose, from usual viewers. This tutorial, whilst the end result didn't turn out too bad, I don't know, just a day off from work today, so I kind of made it with not much preparation. We just got the request last night to do it, so I didn't really plan it out much, so it might be a bit ropey, but stick by it. And as I say, the end result wasn't too bad, so that out of the way, let's get on with the show. Hey, welcome to this new tutorial. This is inspired by a request from Patrick Bateman, who was having trouble modelling a Russian helmet, specifically the LSHZ2DT, to be precise, helmet. So I thought I'd give it a bash anyway and see how I get on. So I'm going to start here in Zbrush using a technique there from one of my recent hard surface videos, and I think in the army boot tutorial as well I use it. So, you know, before Zbrush I would have, as you can see here, this is the ref of the helmet. So starting off just with a polysphere, make polymesh 3D, you can see that the helmet outline here, the profile of it pretty much is a perfect sphere. So it makes sense to start with a sphere, obviously. As I said though, you know, pre-Zbrush would have just re-top out in max on top of a sphere and just drawn out these you know, poly loops and then filled all this in. But you know, it could have taken whatever, how long that's going to take you by the time you sort out the topology and all the rest of it, and tweak it and everything. Whereas in Zbrush here, you know, it can be done literally in minutes. So I'm just going to show this through the undo buffer, because it's quite simple to do, quick, and also as I said, I show it in some of the other hard surface videos. So without further ado, I'll get on with it here. So to set up the reference here, I go into this in detail as well in the first part of my Rhino modeling series, but I'm just going to show here what I did. As I said, you can refer to that video for more in-depth discussion of it. So the draw palette, and then you can just come down here to left, right, drop your image in, and that's pretty much it. Turn on the floor. Once you turn on the floor, then your ref image will be in position there, across the projected across the x-axis, which is left, right. And also then you can play around with these the E enhance factor and E enhance opacity, and then use fill mode. I fill mode on my UI here obviously, but it's also in here, fill mode. So it's handy to have it here because you can just move between the levels. And as I said, that E enhance factor and E enhance opacity setting will change how this works when you're using fill mode. So that's all I did to set up the ref, and then I just dropped in, as I said, a polysphere, make polymesh 3D, position it, scale it. You can use the size tool here, size and deformation, or size and geometry, or else you can just use the transpose line, scale, just shift click on the white circle, and that'll center it up, and then just shift drag on the outer circle, and that'll uniformly scale it. So I'll move through the undo buffer here. All I did basically was sized it up, and then just used the slice curve brush to chop through our profile outline here at the bottom of the helmet. And then I just control shift clicked on the helmet, delete hidden, get rid of the bits we don't want. And then I just Zremeshed it, half, and just kept Zremeshing until I got low enough resolution here, so that it's more pliable. It's easy to manipulate here into the shape that we want, into the forms that we want. And I'm just using the move brush. Yeah, you can use snake hook as well, it's quite good, or move elastic. So we just continued to do that, added some subdivision. Obviously it shrinks then, and you can just reshape it then. And I think I also, you can see there where the mesh just shrank. I would have used polish just on a very low setting, 1 or 2. And then I would have been moving there from different views. Don't forget, you know, I'm showing it in the left view here, but I would have been all over the place looking at the forms from all angles. Very important, because I found it quite difficult to find a decent reference for this. Thankfully I was able to get this, and we're able to get the shape true to the shape here from the side profile, and then it's just a matter of eyeballing the front, back and sides and making it not look like Darth Vader's helmet. So just keep going. And I also there's where one of the polish was used. You know, you can see here I flattened it off. You can use clip curve. Don't forget to use the clip curve brush here on very low res to get shapes you want without having to move it around. You can just force the geometry to that clip curve line and just tweaking. And as I said, you know, as you're manipulating in the different views, you'll come back to, because we've the left view established, you might have to, when you're moving around in other views, because we don't have a top or a front view, and we just have to eyeball it, but you might have to return to this view every now and again and just tweak it more, just to get it back into position. And more tweaking. Yeah, and that's pretty much it then. You know, the shape isn't perfect, but from the front it's hard to, you know, from the top here as well, you know, I'll tweak that out, try and maintain that spherical shape. So you can also append, you could append a sphere in here and use that then as you just move that, then you can just get the back lined up there and turn on transparent, and then you can just use your move again, or snake hook as I say, fairly big size, and then you can just kind of use that sphere then from the top as a template, and just keep playing with your shapes. So that's basically it then, to get the base done. And if I just turn off the floor and solo it out, now you'll see here, this is Zbrumesh's topology generated, and it's very good for what we need here. But you'll notice these N poles, or 3 valence vert poles, you know, which can leave nasty kind of artifacting when you smooth your mesh. But these poles are essential to sud-d modeling, because they actually, you know, you need these to be able to control your topology. You can see here this loop continues around here, and also we have a loop here and a loop through here. So they're essential for controlling topology, but unfortunately they also leave smoothing artifacts. So, you know, you just have to, you know, you can see some lumpiness and bumpiness in this surface. So what you can do is you can just use the you can smooth it with the smooth brush, and just hold shift and then let go of shift, and drop your levels down, and that'll help to even out that sort of stuff. Just be careful not to go too close to the edges. Or you can use polish, but polish is quite strong. So if I use polish there, you see it starts to shrink everything. but you could add in poly loops or creasing and increase by features. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. As I say, you can smooth that out, and then for the final, because of those poles, I'm just going to delete higher. Because of those poles, for the final topology, instead of bringing it over this low, you know, I'll probably bring it up, bring it at a bit of a higher res than this over to max. But you can also, if you're not happy with the topology, you can just keep Z-remeshing at the same, and try and move some of them around those poles, and try and get them so that they're not on the same loop. Even if they're one across, it's a bit better. So that's pretty much it for the Zbrush part. I'm just going to a bit more tweaking here, and I'm just going to continue to tweak this. And you know, I can do the same as I say, using that sphere in the top to as a template. See here, like I'll tweak this and tweak a few other bits and bobs. The other thing then that can be done is, you can see this loop, this edge loop here is following quite nicely for this part here that I'm going to detach and break off and max and use for this element in the front of the helmet. So I'd probably just do a bit more tweaking and get these verts into position, or I could bring the ref over to max, but I'm probably not going to. I can just set this stuff up in ZBrush, go Z across, and then ready to go. So that's what I'm going to do. So I haven't considered modeling the visor here in max. Originally I was just going to edge extrude model it in max and use a bend modifier to give me the shape here. But I decided to just continue on in the same vein here in ZBrush, using this exact same techniques, using the slice curve brush. So I just grabbed this other ref image for the visor off Google and just set it up here. Same thing, same again, just swapped out the image that was there, and just messed around with the horizontal and vertical offset and the grid size, just to match it up to the original helmet subtool that we created. And I rotated in Photoshop, but you can also rotate it here just to straighten it out. Obviously there's some perspective photography issues here in this, but it's just to give us the outline basically is all we need. You know, because this part, if I had a poly model, I would have just modeled it to here, and you know, extruded these out straight and then bent it around, because obviously if you flatten this out, it would just be completely straight across. Right, so I just realised I lost my undo buffer, so I'm going to have to do this in real time. Right, so basically same thing, set up my ref image and appended a Polymesh 3D cylinder. And same thing again then, I'm just going to size it up. We can just adjust the fill mode and move this into position. So I'm just pretty much looking for where it starts to curve. So if we just set it up here, sort of, you know, about there, and give it a couple of subdivision levels so it'll be smoothish when we slice curve it. And just grab your slice curve brush then and just start chopping up. It might be difficult to see in the video, but hopefully it won't be, you know, you'll get the idea. So the technique here is just to I'll just delete lower. Technique here is just to not try to do too much in one go. If you know how any of the slice or clip brushes work, you want to just stick to pretty much straight or curved lines, no crazy sharp corners or anything. It doesn't matter too much with slice curve, but it's easier to manage. So I'm just looking for the angles that I want here, can just use, I don't like that one, so I'll just Control Z that. I'm just pressing Alt here to maintain the curve. And just continue to slice around it, basically to get the silhouette that we want. A few kind of straight bits, and this curve here. You don't have to go all the way across the model, you can just slice across different poly groups. I'll get this one here just to give us that little curve at the bottom. And then basically that's it, that's what we're looking for. So if I drop the fill mode back down, here's the piece we're looking for, so we can just Control Shift click and take the parts, and then just hold Control and Shift drag and press Control again to invert the selection, and that's what we're looking for. So Control W to make it all one poly group, and then you can use Zremesher. I'm just going to do same. Sorry, one more part I wanted to chop off, just the bottom part here, just about there, and Control click again, and just just Control Shift on this and delete hidden. And I also want to, I've lost that curve there, so just take that and delete hidden again, and that's pretty much our shape. So we get, you know, obviously the curves and everything for free because we started with a cylinder, and Zremesh the same. Now what I'm looking for here is switch to half, is this edge loop continuing right the way around. So I'm just going to keep Zremeshing until I get it. I'm going to just go same. And hopefully, yeah, that's actually too straight there, so what I'm going to do is slice curve that just to take that off it. And I'm going to just bring them all back, and I just want to change these polys here, so I can just use Z modeler for that. Just tag all these, and there's other ways to do it as well, but I'm just going to do it like this for the moment. So delete hidden and Control W again, and then I'll try and Zremesh that again the same, and it's nearly, so we still quite haven't got that loop, because I want this to be a continuous edge loop. Now we could just mess around and manually, you know, change the topology here, but I don't have to do that. So I'm just going to keep Zremeshing, and I'm just going to keep Zremeshing until I get that. So I'll just pause the video here. So I got it there after a few more tries. So all I did was I just forced it the way I wanted it by just using Z modeler, or sorry, just using the move tool and just rounding this out. Before it was too square, and intelligently that's the way Zremesher was retopologizing it. So you can just force it by, you know, rounding this off, and then it'll follow that with its own loop. So we have that loop there, so that's perfect. And now what I want to do is just using the move tool, I can just want to make sure that I didn't have symmetry on for that, so I'm just going to mirror and weld. And it gave us a weird line down the middle there, but because it wasn't dead center, so not to worry, just go to Z modeler and Alt click to get rid of those edge loops down the center. And now I'll just back to the move tool and I'll just shape this out a bit more. just to match it up a bit more with the ref. And I'll bring the fill mode up, and hopefully this isn't too difficult to see. You know, at the moment, the way this worked out was the original helmet subtool. You can see here, you know, it matched up pretty good. Obviously the helmet's rotated at a different angle, but it matched up to where this part here that attaches the visor was. It was right on this pole, so I just used that to align this ref. And then to check it out, you know, we can just use the transpose rotate. So if I just make that tool visible, you can see here's the edge of the helmet, and I'll just use transpose rotate, and back down to our visor, and you can see now you can rotate it, and it's actually too big, so I want to stretch it back in that way. So I'll just use the move transpose, bring it back in, and I'll also probably just bring it up this way a bit to get it more to the correct sort of size. And now if we rotate right from the center point, I'm actually going to move the whole thing sort of back into position a bit, get it lined up with the ref. Now if we just rotate it from the center here and just hold shift to snap it straight so it doesn't snap to one of these verts, and then we can rotate it up, and you can see then that, you know, it's in a good position here, so that, you know, we can test out whether it would work. And back down to our visor, and that's pretty good. So now I'll just do a bit more tweaking here, bring up the brush size, maybe use snake hook, and just shape it out a bit more. And I'll probably just use a clip curve here just to straighten this off here, and you can use spacebar then to move the clip around just to straighten that off. And I'll just hide the helmet again, and also hide that sphere there. And you know, you can tweak as much as you like here. The helmet's pulled back a good bit here, so what I can do is just, you know, I can pull this down, not really worrying about it being straight, and then simply just use clip curve, and that'll give us a nice straight line again. Just make sure that you're on the right side of the shadow facing away from what you want to clip, and that straightens that out nicely. So the next thing I want to do then is, you know, some of this stuff here will be going across to our 3D modeling package, obviously, so you can add in some edge loops to tighten some of this stuff up. But what I'm going to do first, before I do any of that, bringing it across, is I'm going to keep going, and this is double thickness, and then it's bolted together. So I'm just going to duplicate that to be safe, and also because we're going to need it in a couple of minutes. And that other piece there, it's going to have, they're both pieces are going to have holes in them. So I'm just duplicating that just to be safe. So if I mess anything up, I'll still have it there. And now we can just use Z modeler, slide points, lower your brush size down, and I'm just going to move this existing topology into place. What's happening there? I think it might be just you know, just a viewport issue there rather than a topology one. So we could even add in another loop there, and so we get a nice center point, and then just slide some of these out. I think it's just the ref that's, as I say, it's a visual thing. I think some sort of viewport bug. So I'll just continue. I hope this is, it's probably quite difficult to see, so apologies for that. And then we can just decide where we want to have that. So, you know, we probably have a, oh sorry, it's the duplicate that's shown through. So I'll turn on the floor, and that one is just probably about here. Or maybe we'll just put it here. So what I'm going to do now is use the split. I'm just going to split that off to the size we want for that hole. I know it doesn't line up here, but as I said, the you know, the perspective in the photograph. So just undo that and go up again, get it roughly the right size, and this one as well. And then I can just click on this one. We'll have to adjust some of this topology first. So slide. I'm just going to move some of this. We can, as I said, we can tidy this topology up later on if we need to. Over in a 3D package, it's, you know, easier to do than I suppose in here. And then split points again, just to get that hole. And back to slide point. And just tidy some of that, tidy that up a little bit. So I'll turn off the floor, and sorry, one more up here as well to sort out. So I'll just slide these points, make a bit of space, and split, and that is it. Yeah, so that's going to be the holes for our screws. Now these ones here should be the same size. So I'm just going to undo that one, do it up again. You can just click straight back on. So if I just click here, click, it'll just repeat the last. It'll remember the settings. So I'll go with that, and now we're just going to go to delete polygroup all, and then we can just delete them, and that'll be the holes. And the next thing to do then is I'm going to duplicate this again. So remember, we still have our original there. Now for the front part of the visor, we're going to take this the duplicate without the holes in it, and I'm going to duplicate it again. Always a good habit to get into. And turn on our floor again, and now we just want to slice curve this part here, and delete hidden, turn off the floor. And the reason I did that was because I'm going to have to retopologize this, and with the holes in it, if I tried to Zbrush it with the holes in it, you'd have to go way higher to maintain the forms with the holes cut in it. So it's easier to just Zbrush this and then just put the holes in it. So I've unsoloed that, and what I want to do now is I'm just going to ZModeler slide point, and I'm just going to force it to be curved like that, and Zbrush it the same, and we'll have to curve it a bit more. Probably add in a loop there, and just go to the move tool. And see if that'll help us. We can even force it out further than it needs to go, just so it'll respect the curvature. Nearly. Yeah, just need to bring that one out there as well. And that has given us what we want. So we got the loops there, and continue on now. Before I do that, I'm just going to turn the floor back on and adjust some of this topology here to match up again with the ref. And as we did before, you know, you can always just pull this out further than it needs to go and then clip curve. But that's pretty good there now. I might just move some of this stuff up and turn off our floor, turn off solo, and sorry, Q mesh that out again. It's about there, turn off solo, and I believe that was 5.7. And that just about does it there. And then we can get our clip curve. And clip curve there, and just to straighten it out, clip curve there. And our original then as well. Sorry, that's the other one showing through. So I'm just going to hide that one. And these other ones as well. And you can also use move points infinite. So on Z modeler, you can just go to move infinite depth, and that'll move, you know, across screen space there right through. And just tidy some of this up again. You can see here, I'm gonna have to use that clip curve trick, so I'll just pull that all out. Pass where it needs to go. Turn on transparent and clip curve. Just to tidy that up, and also tidy it up here as well. Yeah, so that's pretty much the visor done there, and we just need to add in those holes. So turn polyframe back on and transparent, and now we just need to line these up again. So move points infinite depth, so I get the ones behind as well. I'll just move these into place. That was pretty good. 1, 2, 3. And there should be another one there somewhere. Sorry, yeah, it's up the top. It's up there. Yeah, that's the three of them. Now we can just remember, you'll have to do this on the back as well. So if we solo that out, and these points, so split. Actually, I won't solo it out for the moment, so we can maintain the size. and we can just click there, get the exact same hole, split point, and then just click and split point here and click, and now we can use just use Q-mesh to cut those holes out, and it was on polygroup also. We can do all three of them at the same time. And now we can just subdivide them, turn off transparent, and turn our helmet on, and subdivide that, change your material, and that's, you know, that's pretty much the basic shapes. Obviously, you have to add control loops and things like that in here, but that's pretty much the basic shape. And what I probably will do is I'm just going to rotate this again. Sorry, not the helmet, the visor, just to test it, you know, to make sure, you know, if it's in position that it's the right size, which it looks to be. So these are just things that you have to kind of eyeball, but it gives us a good idea just using this transpose. So yeah, so that's the basics. You can see here now our holes are lined up here. So, you know, if you put a shader over this, just want to make sure that they are in fact lined up. You know, if you're rendering this and you're going to put a refractive kind of shader on it, just you want to leave thickness on these pieces of geometry to get the best refractions. So that's yeah, that's it for this part. And in the next part then I'm going to move on and model the rest of it and max tidy all this stuff up, add in some edge loops and clean up some of this topology. But you know, that's quickly how you can get this stuff done in Zbrush with that the slice curve technique and Zbrush. Alright, cheers, thanks, good luck.